I love being funny because I love making people happy, I guess, and the way I do that is through my art. I'm Olivia James. I'm a junior at Diamond Bar High School, and I really enjoy acting, and also I participate in show choir, and I model sometimes, and I do lots of community theater. The production that really got me into theater was I was in the ensemble of Into the Woods Junior in Claremont, and I was 11. And then after that is when I did Annie Jr. in middle school, and I played Miss Hannigan, and that's where I got like my best friends, and that's how I got connected to theater in Walnut Valley. And you know, I wouldn't be in drama or in choir had it not been for Annie Jr. So I guess Into the Woods made me think that I should probably do theater more, and then Annie was like, oh yeah, this is where I belong. Most recently, this actress named Brittany Johnson came up, and I've been following her a lot, and now she's like my favorite person ever, because the musical that I saw that started me getting into wanting to watch more musicals was Wicked at the Pantages, and she recently, I think 2 weeks ago, became the first Black woman to play Glinda on Broadway. Wow. And she's just like an icon and very inspirational. Yeah. She went to the Tisch School of the Arts in NYU, and that's where I want to go. Oh. And so I guess she's like a really big one that I've gotten recently. Ciara Renee. She was like the first Black woman to play Elsa on Broadway, and Frozen Broadway. So I was like, oh wow, like, you know, just obviously.
Like you see history being made.
Yeah, exactly. Like history being made like right in front of my eyes, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is actually something that I can do, because, you know, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I could never play like Cinderella or something like that. And most times, I wouldn't be able to play that role just because it doesn't really match up with the story sometimes. But just seeing these women like making such big strides. Like now, like it's not something that happened like 10 years ago. Like this is something that happened like last week or a year ago. So they really inspire me.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about your upcoming role. Tell me about that, The Last Hero.
The Last Hero, yeah. It's a short film, a very short film.
I have the IMDb kind of section about it.
The Last Hero is a day in the life of an inner city family, which this day is probably one of many, as the middle child, Cheyenne, secretly saves the day by relieving her siblings of hunger. Directed by Asia Munz and Yolanda T. Ross.
Might I add? I'm so excited to watch it.
I'm so excited, yeah, me too.
And you play Maisha, right? All right, can you tell me a little bit about like that experience on set?
It was really cool. It was the first time I'd ever been in front of a camera. The first time I'd ever acted in front of a camera. Wow. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a setup similar to this. It's a low budget film, but it was all so cool. I mean, it had the little like action thingy, you know, it was like, ooh, this is real. So I got to meet like a lot of cool actors, a lot of cool like on-set photographers, who, I mean, again, have connections to it, because like we filmed like in the center of Hollywood, which is like.
How have you created connections, like you were saying before, that have gotten you to where you are today?
I guess my church, I know it's strange to say like, oh, how'd you get into the entertainment industry? My church, but that's something that did happen, just because when I first started doing plays at my church, there was this one lady who's very involved with the entertainment industry who would write plays and produce them at my church. You know, my dad always talks about like the 6 degrees of connection.
Also called the 6 degrees of separation, and not the 1990 play or the 93 film, but both plots share similar ideas, and that everyone in the world is essentially connected through no more than 6 people.
So outside of your support system that you have now, how else do you stay motivated or inspired?
I think just looking at my end goal, and seeing like concrete evidence that my end goal can happen. So I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV shows with people that look like me. Like, I don't know if you know like Yoshimura, but I watch like all of her movies and all of her TV shows just because like I kind of see myself as her, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm just like immersing myself in the media that I want to end up contributing to.
Definitely.
Is how I stay motivated, I guess. Yeah.
Why do you think it's so crucial to have like representation, seeing yourself on screen, and how, you know, you were saying like you see yourself now, and so it's like history is being made now and not 10 years in the past. Like, why do you think that that's important for other people of color?
It's a lot better than it was like 20 years ago.
Definitely.
But there's still a lot of work to be done because I feel like a lot of the roles that people of color are in are still very stereotypical. And I don't even feel like the Black community is like the most impacted. Just because there have been so many Black artists that have fought for a place in the entertainment industry, and you know, other cultural minorities like that. Like, I don't see like a lot of Asian representation. I think that's like the least that I've seen most recently. We need more incorporation of people of like all colors. And I'm not saying, I mean, there's a place for everybody in the entertainment industry. I'm not like, oh, like get all the white actors out or anything like that. But I just think we need to make being a person of color in the industry less of like a surprising thing, because art's for everybody.
Definitely.
And it's like,
I love that.
Yeah, like if people are you know, only seeing like, if people see like what they want to be like as a person or as a character, like on a TV show or something, and they're like, oh, but I can't be that because I don't look like them. You know, like I think that mindset is in like a lot of, especially young people, just because they're just such visual learners and they absorb what they see.
Definitely.
So like when I was younger, I initially wanted to be a doctor. Like I needed to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. Like
you got the name.
I know that's what I wanted to be. So I think I would have even like have been more inspired had I seen more Black female surgeons like on TV. Like I know they might not be real surgeons, but just seeing that example, or like seeing minorities as professionals in the media, like that could encourage a young person to go off and get like a law degree or something. They don't have to be like, oh, I want to be an actor, but if they see an actor playing the career that they want to be, I mean, that just encourages everybody.
So how do you stay like true to yourself and your identity, knowing that maybe like you are that person on stage or behind the camera for like somebody younger than you?
One time, after I had played Cinderella in Into the Woods, I saw this little brown girl who was just looking up at me like, can I take a picture with you? And I was like, oh my goodness, yes. Like that just made me so happy because again, like I said at the very beginning, like I just love making people smile, and little girls who look like me, like that's just like the icing on the cake, like making them smile. Same thing when I played this heroine in Peter and the Starcatcher when I was a freshman. There were still little girls that just wanted to run up to me, and I was like, I would be flipping out right now if I was the little girl. And I was like, she's actually paying attention to me, you know? So I just think leaving them with positive memories of seeing someone like me on stage is really big, because that maybe they'll always keep that in their mind. I hope to contribute an actor to the industry that also values other things than just acting. I think it just needs to be normalized that not all actors only do acting. Not all actors grew up acting or anything like that. Like you can be like a normal person and still be in the industry and still be very, very involved in the industry. So I think I want to bring like a sense of normal personness. Okay. That's not a word, but yeah.
I know that you are involved in a little bit of activism. Can you talk to me about that?
I'm a board member in the Melanated Youth Coalition. It's a youth coalition based in Orange County, and the co-founders are Asha Jones and Chloe Serrano, and we just want to educate young people and sort of have their future generations know about, you know, social injustice and sort of be really strong about making a change for it. Like, I just gave a speech today, you know, like, I know it's like a cliche, but like, be the change you want to be in the world. Like, if people just sit and wait for someone who's bigger or someone who has more power to get involved with something, I mean, nothing's gonna happen. So I think their largest message is to just take action no matter how young you are, how small you are. I mean, everyone has a voice, so I think just amplifying youth's voice is the biggest thing that Melanated Youth's mission is trying to do right now.
So what do you think that the industry can do to improve and change upon to become more supportive for people of color, for women?
Equal pay is a really big thing because that's very public.
Yeah.
And it still happens. Like, actors of color do not get paid the same as white actors. They can have the same credits, they can have more credits. It still doesn't usually happen. So equal pay, very big. Also, different casting. Like, and also like opening doors for not only like black actors or actors of color, but also writers, directors, producers of color, because I mean, it might not always be fair, but they be more prone.
The story is only as good as the people who write it or contribute behind the scenes.
Yeah, and they'd also be more open to like casting actors of color, and then you just, you know, the industry would be a rainbow.